Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today we will be discussing the different cloud certifications, as I have heard from many of you that you have difficulties choosing the right cloud certification depending on your career aspirations or your current situation with your education or career. If you don't want to miss any of my videos and if you want to make me a New Year present, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and if you like this video, please don't forget to push that like button. First of all, it's important to highlight that there are currently many cloud certifications provided by both vendors. For example, IBM cloud certification, AWS cloud certification, Microsoft Azure cloud certification, or even digital cloud from Google. So, as well as vendor-specific cloud certifications, there are also non-vendor-specific cloud certifications provided by different security organizations, or, for example, even CompTIA, there is a Cloud Plus certification. And with all of these cloud certifications, people have difficulties to actually decide which certification to go for. And I can relate to this because not that long time ago, I was also on the verge of the choice of which of the certifications to choose and go for. So let's start from the very basic reasoning and the situations when it's not even a problem for which cloud certification to go. And you don't have to make that choice actually. First of all, obviously, if you work for AWS, if you work for Microsoft, or if you work for IBM, you will be going for the certifications offered by these companies. Or if you work for the company that is affiliated or owned by AWS, Microsoft, or IBM, obviously, if you're not interested in changing your job, if you don't have any other career opportunities, you will be looking to pass the certification offered by these companies. Another case is your geographic location, where you're located, and based on your location and on your country, what is the most popular cloud in that region. I noticed that in Asia, Alibaba Cloud exists. I haven't heard of it ever before doing the research for this video. So when I found out, it turned out that many Asian companies, Chinese companies, and even Japanese or Korean companies, they go for Alibaba Cloud. And if there is a certification that is being offered, or the training courses that are being offered by the Alibaba Cloud, of course people who live in China, in Asian regions, unless they want to move out or unless they want to have a specific certification from AWS or Azure, they normally should go for the trainings or certifications offered by the Alibaba Cloud and other big Asian providers, right? And when we put this reasoning aside, the cases where you actually know for sure which certification you will be going to, let's talk about more normal people who are either studying or working but not in the cloud industry, and they want to pass the cloud certification but they don't know which certification to opt for. And I was one of them, and I'm sure that many of you who are watching me right now are one of these people. So first of all, the things that might affect your reasoning in this situation, first is marketing. Of course, certifications is an educational weapon for you to use to put on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, and everywhere else in order to find a job, right? But also from the standpoint of the bodies, for example, AWS certifications or Azure certifications. This is a business, this is an additional income for them. So they try to market their certifications as much as they can. And when you're scrolling your LinkedIn feed or when you're going through different Facebook groups, you can see people who share their achievements in terms of, for example, I got an Azure certification, congratulate me, or I got an AWS certification or an IBM certification. And after seeing this, which is a part of the marketing, you're like, yes, I saw Kevin doing this, so I want to go and pass this certification so that I can post it just as Kevin did. And people start repeating the success, repeating whatever other people post in order to be able to post this, to tell to the world that they have passed this certification as well. So in that case, of course, you go and pass the certification that is most marketed by both the organizations and the people who passed this certification. The second reason why people lean towards one certification and not the other are the training resources. In my case, this was the decisive factor because, for example, for AWS, there is not an abundance of the training resources that would be really unfair towards, for example, Azure or IBM, but the training resources for AWS are kind of more accessible. For example, I am used to buying courses on Udemy, and I bought a course on Udemy to prepare for the cloud practitioner exam. And on the AWS website, everything is so well structured. You can find whatever information you need, and there are plenty of books, plenty of courses with practice exam for AWS, and etc. So the existence of the training materials is very important when you go for a cloud certification. I'm just gonna give you also one example which is not about the cloud certification. I recently was looking through different Linux certifications, as this is a topic that is currently very interesting to me. And when I came across the CompTIA Linux exam, Linux Plus exam, I noticed that there are almost no different types of training resources. Under different types, I mean, for example, there are training resources as training videos, as PDFs of the books, as practice exams, and for the Linux Plus, I was only able to locate the book itself, and that's it. So, and then I thought, oh my god, should I go for this certification? Because how am I gonna prepare? And if I prepare, how am I gonna be sure that I will pass? Because how am I gonna be sure that I know everything that I should know for this certification, right? So your ability to reach the training resources for the certification is very important factor in you actually taking the certification, because no one wants to go into an unknown exam. No one wants to pass an exam without having enough knowledge, enough resources to study for that exam, right? And that is a very logical point, I think. Next very important factor that people pay attention to when choosing a cloud certification, and you should pay attention to as well, is the market share. Of course, we want to pass the certification of the provider that is successful, which means that it is used by many companies and many companies provide this cloud provider. And from the research that I did for this video, and AWS has 32% of the market share, Azure has 20% of the market share, and you should see on the photo, there are the other percentages are marginally divided between other cloud providers. And as you can see, the AWS is the biggest cloud provider, which means that companies go for AWS. Also, US government uses AWS cloud. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but the intelligence agency for which the James Bond worked in his movies, MI6, also transferring to the AWS cloud. So this is pretty obvious that the AWS at this point, currently to this date, is the market leader. So that maybe can affect your choice towards taking the AWS exam rather than other exams. But again, this is not the only factor, although very important. The next factor that is really important for people is how the exam is provided. Whether you can take the exam online with Pearson, for example, whether the exam is outsourced to Pearson, you can take it online in the exam center, or exam is not available through outsourcing agency like Pearson, and the exam is conducted by the company itself, by the IBM itself or Azure itself. Whether you can take the exam online or you should commute to the exam center, these are the important factors when deciding to take the exam, because your convenience during the exam process is very important. Next factor is of course price. Yes, price is not different among different cloud certifications, but still there are countries for which even $10 when we change to the other country's currency make difference. So if for America, let's say, I'm not saying for all American families or for all UK or European families, $90 or $100 doesn't make any difference at all. Trust me, there are countries who live a bit poorer than the developed countries, so the difference between $90 and $100 can be big difference for them. So the price can be a decisive factor as well. Well, last but not least is of course the vendor specific or not vendor specific. For example, in my last video that should appear here or here, I actually mentioned why for the cloud vendor specific certifications are important, specifically for the cloud field, yeah? Because whenever you go for the vendor specific certification, you have clear hands-on, because this is the cloud vendor. It can provide you with hands-on. For example, AWS provides 750 hours of free running EC2 instances and other services for free for a short amount of time. And I think other than trying out these services, one of the ideas behind the free tiers in AWS is the fact that people who are preparing for the exam can try the instances, can try creating the instances, and etc., so that it's all free for them for the short period of time during which they prepare for the exam. And that is very important. Non-vendor certification in cloud can never provide you with the same hands-on expertise that you have to do before you prepare for the exam. Yes, for the exam itself you will not be tested on your hands-on, but many people who pass the cloud certifications actually do some hands-ons before the certification itself, before the exam, so that they know what is where, how to create instances, how to delete them, and everything else. So in the cloud specific case, I discourage you from going for CompTIA Cloud Plus or any other non-vendor cloud certifications, and rather to go for vendor-specific cloud certifications such as AWS, Azure, IBM, or any other certification that you have reasoning, that you have feeling that you should go for this specific cloud certification. I hope I was able to shed some light on this very complex process of choosing the cloud certification, because I was in that situation as well. And whenever you go for this certain certification, you never want to be mistaken. Whenever you put your dedication, effort, your time, you never want to go for the certifications that would not market you as a cloud professional or as someone who has an understanding of cloud, and you don't want to go for the certification that will not help you in your job, in your education, and whatever you're passing it for. So I hope my reasoning and the reasoning that came from you actually, and from many people who were on the verge of choice for the cloud certification, helped you who are preparing for the cloud exam or who are about to choose the right cloud certification. If you have any questions or if you disagree with anything, please leave your comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my video. And of course, I wait all of you on my Instagram page as well. And have a nice day, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.